Chosen one, your win is about to shock everyone. Here's why. You are stepping into a chapter of your life where the shift happening within you is becoming too powerful to hide, too undeniable to silence, too expansive to dismiss. What's unfolding inside you is not loud, dramatic, or chaotic. It is steady, consistent, intentional, and deeply aligned. And when an internal transformation reaches this level of maturity, the external world eventually has no choice but to catch up. You are on the edge of a breakthrough that is not built on luck, not built on chance, and not built on approval, but built on the quiet strength you've been developing behind the scenes. Chosen one, the win coming your way is not just an event. It is a revelation of who you've been becoming all along. Before we go deeper into this message, Chosen one, stay with this video until the very end, because what unfolds in this message is meant to activate something in your awareness. And write your warmest wishes and 144 in the comments to affirm your alignment and energize the universe around you. Let this be the one moment where you choose yourself fully, where you claim the energy you've been stepping into. Now that this part is said, we continue, and the rest will focus entirely on the rise that is unfolding through you. Now, Chosen one, press the hype button, like this video, subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel, and let's start. Chosen one, people have no idea what you've been carrying. They see the surface of your existence, but they have not witnessed the storms you navigated with no support. The nights you spent rebuilding your spirit alone. The heavy moments you had to process without guidance. They don't know the internal restructuring you've had to go through, the emotional rewiring, the mental strengthening, the spiritual awakening that took place in silence. And because they never saw the process, they will be stunned by the outcome. Your win will shock them not because they doubt your potential, but because they never expected you to rise this steadily, this powerfully, this undeniably. Everything you've learned, everything you've endured, everything you've released is starting to align into one powerful moment of recognition. Not recognition from others, recognition from your own spirit. You are about to realize just how strong you've become, just how prepared you are, just how deeply the universe has been shaping you behind the scenes. Chosen one, you have been in a season of inner elevation, and now you stand on the edge of seeing what that elevation was preparing you for. There is something unique about the way you rise. You don't rise with noise, you rise with intention. You don't rise for attention, you rise for purpose. You don't rise to compete, you rise to align. This is why your win will shock people, because it doesn't come from ego, arrogance, or force. It comes from healing. It comes from clarity. It comes from truth. You have grown into someone who moves with purpose, someone who understands the value of patience, someone who trusts the timing of their own evolution. Chosen one, you are no longer who you were. And that change did not happen overnight. It happened through countless moments of choosing growth over comfort. You walked away from old patterns. You broke cycles that generations before you never questioned. You let go of versions of yourself that no longer served your future. You learned how to sit with your emotions instead of escaping them. You learned how to observe your thoughts instead of drowning in them. You learned how to create peace instead of waiting for it to arrive. These internal shifts are the reason your external breakthrough is forming. They are the foundation of your win. You may feel a subtle pressure inside you lately, as if something is building, preparing, aligning itself. This is not anxiety. This is activation. It's the feeling of potential turning into readiness. It's the quiet hum of your spirit telling you that something significant is forming just beyond the surface. You are entering a moment where everything you've worked on internally begins to find expression externally. The timing is not random. The alignment is not accidental. The shift is not coincidence. Everything is happening now because you are finally aligned with the version of yourself capable of receiving it. Chosen one, your win will shock people because they never saw the work you put into yourself. They saw you fall, but they didn't see you rebuild. They saw you hurt, but they didn't see you heal. They saw you step back, but they didn't see you recenter. They saw your silence, but they didn't see your transformation. They saw the battles, but they didn't see the breakthrough. That's why your rise will be powerful, because it doesn't fit the story people assumed about you. But here's the truth. Your life is not built on their assumptions. Your path is not defined by their expectations. Your destiny is not shaped by their opinions. This win is personal. It is between you and the universe, between you and your journey, between you and the strength you cultivated in the dark. No one can claim credit for what you're stepping into, because no one walked the path you walked, no one carried what you carried, and no one overcame what you overcame in the way you overcame it. Chosen one, there is nothing accidental about your rise. Every moment of confusion, every setback, every pause, every delay, it all served a purpose. It stripped away the unnecessary. It refined your judgment. It strengthened your intuition. It sharpened your discernment. It clarified your boundaries. It deepened your emotional intelligence. You evolved into someone capable of not only receiving a win, but sustaining it. Your breakthrough is not meant to inflate your ego. It is meant to expand your identity. It is meant to show you who you've always been, beneath the layers of fear, doubt, and uncertainty. It is meant to reflect the power you didn't know you had, the resilience you carried quietly, and the wisdom you earned through lived experience. And now, chosen one, you are entering the moment where the world will finally see what your spirit has known for a long time. You were born to rise in ways that cannot be overlooked, ignored, or denied. Chosen one, the reason your win will shock everyone is because your transformation has been happening in places no one had access to. You didn't broadcast your battles. You didn't post your rebuilding. You didn't loudly announce your evolution. You chose silence. You chose privacy. You chose inner work over external performance. And people mistake your quietness for stagnation. They assume that because you were still, you were stuck. They assume that because you were silent, nothing was shifting. But stillness has never meant weakness. It has always meant preparation. The quieter your spirit became, the more aligned your internal world grew. You are stepping into a moment where the hidden becomes visible, where the internal becomes external, where the private becomes undeniable. Chosen one, this is why your rise will shock everyone, because you didn't grow in front of them. You grew behind the scenes, in the shadows of your own decisions, in the private corners of your emotional world. And now, all of that internal maturity is preparing to reveal itself in ways even you might not fully recognize yet. You may begin to notice subtle signs that your identity has shifted. You make decisions differently. You observe people differently. You trust your intuition differently. Your mind doesn't run into panic as quickly. Your emotions don't control you the way they used to. You don't chase validation anymore. You don't shrink to fit into places that cannot hold your evolution. These shifts may feel normal to you now, But they are not small. They are foundational. They are the reason your win will become possible. Chosen one, you have been operating from a new level of inner alignment without even realizing it. Your energy is clearer. Your awareness is sharper. Your self-respect is deeper. You no longer compromise your well-being for temporary comfort. You no longer dismiss your intuition just to keep peace. You no longer attach yourself to situations that diminish your spirit. These subtle internal adjustments are not random. They are signs that your spirit has upgraded. And because of that, the life around you is going to shift to match it. You may not fully grasp it yet, but you are already behaving like someone who has won. Not financially, not materially, not publicly, but internally. You've won peace, you've won clarity, you've won emotional balance, you've won spiritual grounding. And inner victories always manifest outwardly in unexpected ways. When your inner world stabilizes, your outer world has no choice but to reorganize itself around your new identity. Chosen one, you have quietly raised your standards, and everything that once matched your old frequency will fall away. This is why some situations became uncomfortable recently. This is why certain connections began dissolving. This is why the environments you once tolerated now feel too small. You are outgrowing what once felt familiar. You are expanding beyond what once felt normal. You are elevating beyond what once felt acceptable. And the universe is rearranging your surroundings to match your new level of consciousness. People will be shocked not because you changed overnight, but because they never believed your silence was strength. They never assumed your solitude was growth. They didn't see the moments where you had to choose resilience over retreat. They didn't see the moments where you had to swallow truths that hurt but healed you. They didn't see the nights where you had to confront your old self in order to become your new self. They didn't witness any of it, and that's why they won't understand the magnitude of your transformation. Chosen one, your rise will confuse people who only understood the version of you who was surviving. They won't know how to react to the version of you who is thriving. They won't know how to speak to the version of you who has boundaries. They won't know how to approach the version of you who carries clarity. They won't know how to stand beside the version of you who no longer needs them for emotional support. Your independence will unsettle them, your confidence will surprise them, and your new identity will challenge the assumptions they built about you. But none of that matters, because this win is not for them. It's not meant to prove anything. It's not meant to impress anyone. It's meant to reflect your evolution back to you. It's meant to show you the results of your inner work. It's meant to validate the strength you had when everything felt uncertain. Chosen one, you are entering a season where your consistency will speak louder than your explanations. You no longer need to justify why you've changed. You no longer need to explain why you've risen. You no longer need to convince anyone of your identity. Your actions will reveal everything. Your energy will announce everything. Your clarity will show everything. And your win will confirm everything. What you are stepping into is not luck. It is alignment. Not coincidence, but intention. Not external approval, but internal mastery. The world is about to witness the version of you that your struggles built. The version your silence nurtured. The version your solitude sculpted. The version your healing required. Chosen one, your win will shock everyone because it represents the truth they never saw, the strength they underestimated, and the growth they never imagined you were capable of. Chosen one, the truth is that your win will shock everyone, because you were not expected to become this version of yourself. People saw your setbacks and assumed that was your story. They saw your silent seasons and assumed you had given up. They saw your isolation and assumed it was weakness. They saw your pauses and assumed they were endings. But what they didn't realize was that every pause was preparation. Every setback was refinement. Every silent moment was a rebuilding of your identity. You were never stagnant. You were evolving away from their expectations and into your truth. You may begin noticing that the way you think about yourself is changing. You no longer see yourself through the lens of past failures or past fears. You no longer define yourself by the smallness others tried to confine you to. Instead, you see yourself rising above old narratives. You see your inner strength with new clarity. You see your emotional intelligence with new appreciation. This shift in self-perception is one of the deepest signs that your win is forming, because how you see yourself determines how you rise. Chosen one, the path you walked has sculpted a level of resilience that is rare. You didn't just learn how to survive, you learned how to rebuild. You learned how to grow in silence. You learned how to find clarity in darkness. You learned how to stand again after collapsing. You learned how to sit with your emotions instead of escaping them. You learned how to understand your patterns instead of repeating them. This kind of resilience cannot be taught. It is forged through experience, introspection, and self-honesty. And now, that resilience is becoming the foundation of your rise. Your win is coming from a place of maturity, not desperation. From clarity, not confusion. From alignment, not chaos. People will feel the difference. They will notice that your rise is not accidental, but intentional. Not forced, but natural. Not sudden, but divinely aligned with the inner work you've been doing quietly. Chosen one, as you continue evolving, you may notice your energy shifting in subtle ways. You no longer respond to disrespect. You no longer engage with chaos. You no longer defend your worth. You no longer chase after what's misaligned. This is not coldness. This is emotional elevation. It means your energy is too valuable to be wasted. Your spirit too refined to be disturbed. Your peace too essential to be compromised. You are becoming selective because evolution requires discernment. Your win will shock everyone because it emerges from the strength of someone who chose healing over validation, growth over comfort, and truth over attachment. People are not used to seeing someone rise from a place of inner stability. They are used to seeing ambition fueled by fear, ego, or insecurity. But your rise is fueled by awareness, purpose, and emotional maturity. Chosen one, the version of you that is emerging operates from alignment. You think differently. You feel differently. You choose differently. You speak differently. You evaluate differently. This shift is not small. It is monumental. It is the inner foundation that will support the external breakthrough forming around you. Your decisions are becoming more intentional. Your reactions are becoming more measured. Your boundaries are becoming more natural. Your intuition is becoming more accurate. These adjustments are not random. They are signs that your spirit has entered a new level of clarity. People around you will feel this clarity before they understand it. They'll notice that your presence feels different, that your energy feels grounded, that your silence feels powerful, that your confidence feels authentic. You are no longer striving to be understood. You are simply choosing to be aligned. Chosen one, Your win will shock everyone because it is the result of internal mastery. You didn't rise through shortcuts. You didn't rise through manipulation. You didn't rise through ego. You rose through self-awareness, self-reflection, and self-respect. And people rarely see this kind of rise coming because it doesn't announce itself. It emerges. What is happening inside you is not temporary change. It is transformation. You have reached a point in your evolution where the version of you that once doubted, feared, hesitated, or minimized themselves can no longer survive in the world you are creating. You've outgrown not only people and places, you've outgrown old versions of yourself. Chosen one, your win will shock everyone because you have become unrecognizable in the best way. You no longer operate from emotional wounds. You operate from emotional wisdom. You no longer move from scarcity. You move from abundance of awareness. You no longer make decisions from fear. You make them from alignment. You no longer carry the weight of old stories. You carry the strength of new understanding. And as this evolution continues, your external world will begin to reflect your internal transformation. Opportunities will feel more aligned. Connections will feel more authentic. Decisions will feel more clear. Movement will feel more natural. Life will begin to match the stability you've built within. Chosen one, your win will shock everyone, not because it is surprising, but because it reveals who you were always meant to be. Chosen one, as you continue rising into this new version of yourself, you may begin noticing that your emotional world is becoming more stable than ever before. The situations that once triggered immediate reactions now invite calm reflection. The people who once disturbed your peace now reveal more about themselves than they do about you. The patterns that once caught you off guard now expose themselves instantly. This emotional steadiness is not accidental. It is the result of deep internal refinement. You have grown into someone who no longer identifies with chaos. Someone who navigates the world with a grounded sense of clarity. And when someone reaches this level of emotional intelligence, the life they attract naturally shifts. Chosen one, your win will shock everyone because your stability is becoming your strength. You are not breaking down in the moments where the old you would have collapsed. You are not spiraling in moments where the old you would have overthought. You are not rushing decisions the old you would have made impulsively. Your responses are different because you are different. The person emerging from within you is emotionally evolved, spiritually aware, mentally strong, and energetically aligned. That level of internal transformation always leads to external results that others cannot understand. You may also begin noticing that you are no longer driven by the same motivations that once controlled your life. You don't seek attention. You don't chase approval. You don't crave validation. You don't feel the need to prove anything. Your spirit is finally releasing the survival-based tendencies you once relied on. This release is one of the strongest signs that your win is approaching, because your success will not be built on insecurity, but on truth. Chosen one, your win shocks people because they assumed that your old patterns would eventually return. They expected you to fall back into environments that drained you. They expected you to reconnect with people who kept you small. They expected you to repeat cycles you worked hard to break. But you didn't. You outgrew those rooms. You outgrew those versions. You outgrew those stories. The people who underestimated you weren't wrong about your challenges. They were wrong about your strength. They misinterpreted your setbacks as endings. But what they didn't understand was that your setbacks were classrooms. Every moment of pain taught you emotional intelligence. Every moment of isolation taught you self-awareness. Every moment of confusion taught you discernment. Every moment of silence taught you intuition. Chosen one, you have become someone who knows themselves on a level others cannot comprehend. That alone is enough to shift your entire life trajectory. You may also notice that life feels less emotionally heavy than before. Not because everything is perfect, but because you are becoming more emotionally healthy. You don't carry unnecessary weight. You don't attach meaning to every situation. You don't internalize every problem. You don't let external noise enter your inner world. This emotional clarity is one of the reasons your next win will be so powerful. It is not happening to a wounded version of you, but to a healed one. Chosen one, your win will shock everyone, because you have learned how to detach from what does not align with you. Detachment is not coldness, it is inner mastery. It is the understanding that peace is more important than proving a point, that alignment is more important than attention, that clarity is more important than being liked. You have shifted your priorities from external validation to internal truth. And this shift is shaping a version of you that is unstoppable. People who once misunderstood you will quietly observe your rise with disbelief. People who once doubted you will question how they never saw this strength before. People who once underestimated you will struggle to understand the maturity you now carry effortlessly. But their confusion is not your concern, because your evolution was never dependent on their awareness. Chosen one, another reason your win will shock everyone is because you have learned the importance of emotional boundaries. You no longer give access to your spirit freely. You no longer let people take advantage of your kindness. You no longer feel obligated to stay where your soul feels constricted. You choose environments that nourish you. You choose connections that respect you. You choose conversations that align with you. This refined selection is creating a life where your energy can grow without interference. You may also notice that your intuition is louder than ever. Not loud in volume, loud in clarity. You sense things before they unfold. You understand people without needing explanations. You feel shifts before they become visible. This intuitive awakening allows you to move differently, choose differently, live differently. And this difference is part of the reason people won't understand how your win happened. They will assume it came out of nowhere, but it didn't. It came from alignment. Chosen one, your win shocks everyone because it reveals the truth about you. The truth that you were always someone capable of rising, someone destined to overcome, someone built to stand out. And now, you are finally stepping into the identity that your spirit has been shaping quietly for years. Your rise is not a surprise to your soul, only to the ones who never took the time to truly see you. Chosen one, as this inner transformation continues, carving out a stronger, wiser version of you, one of the most powerful shifts you'll notice is in how you interpret your own past. You no longer see it as a chain holding you back. You see it as a map that led you here. Every detour, every setback, every heartbreak, every disappointment now reveals itself as a turning point. Instead of asking, why did this happen to me? You find yourself thinking, look what this taught me. This shift in perception is not small. It is the foundation of emotional maturity. It means you have stepped into a level of consciousness where your past is no longer an enemy, but a teacher. And when someone reaches this level, their rise becomes inevitable, because nothing behind them has the power to pull them down anymore. Chosen one, your win will shock everyone, because you are not rising from a place of ignorance. You are rising from a place of understanding. You understand yourself more clearly than ever. You understand your patterns. You understand your emotional needs. You understand your strengths and your boundaries. You understand what nourishes your spirit and what drains it. This self-awareness is rare. It forms an internal stability that cannot be shaken by opinions, circumstances, or expectations. It turns you into someone who moves with intentionality, not desperation. Someone who chooses wisely instead of reacting blindly. Someone who rises because they are aligned, not because they are forcing anything. You may also notice that life is beginning to feel less heavy and more guided. Not because external circumstances have suddenly changed, but because you have changed internally. You are no longer stuck in cycles of overthinking. You are no longer consumed by anxieties rooted in the past. You are no longer controlled by doubts that once felt overpowering. Instead, you move with a sense of direction, a quiet knowing. You trust your inner signals. You trust your decisions. You trust your ability to navigate whatever comes. This kind of emotional grounding is a sign of someone who is preparing for a significant breakthrough. Chosen one, your win will shock everyone because you have learned how to regulate your inner world with grace. You know when to pull back and when to push forward. You know when to speak and when silence is more powerful. You know when something aligns with your spirit and when it subtly contradicts your truth. This internal regulation allows you to move through life without being easily destabilized. And that level of control over your emotional landscape will make your rise look effortless to those who do not understand how much inner discipline it takes to stay centered. People will also be shocked because they never saw how deeply you healed. They never witnessed the internal battles. They never saw the nights you confronted your fears. They never saw the moments where you had to sit with yourself and break your own patterns. They never saw the emotional weight you carried quietly, gracefully, privately. And because they never saw the healing, they will not understand the rise. That is why your win will feel sudden to them, but not to you. You know exactly what it took to get here. Chosen one, another powerful shift happening within you is your understanding of alignment. You no longer chase what drains you. You no longer pursue things that conflict with your spirit. You no longer cling to situations that delay your growth. Instead, you allow life to unfold naturally. You understand that what aligns will stay, what misaligns will fall away, and what is meant for you will always reveal itself without struggle. This surrender is not passive. It is a sign of emotional strength. It means you trust yourself, trust your path, and trust the quiet intelligence of the universe. You may also begin recognizing that your energy has become more valuable. You protect your peace more fiercely. You guard your mind more intentionally. You prioritize your emotional health without guilt. You say no without explanation. You walk away without resentment. Your boundaries are no longer reactive. They are part of your identity. And this shift in how you honor yourself is another reason your rise will shock people, because they never expected you to choose yourself this confidently. Chosen one, your win will shock everyone because you have reached a point where your emotional maturity is no longer fragile. It is fortified. You've reached a level where life can't break you the way it once could. Situations that used to destroy you now strengthen you. Words that used to crush you now reveal truth. And the very things that once weakened you now confirm the strength you carry.